Okay, welcome to day 11, area of a sector of a circle. This is page 36 in your packet. And today we're going to be talking about the area of a piece of the circle. Before we do that, let's review the area formula for the whole circle. So if you look here, the area is the blue region. So it's the area is what it would take to cover a pizza with cheese, like the entire pizza all the way to the edge. No bare spots or anything, or cover it with sauce. So I like to think of the pizza analogy here because I like pizza and it looks like a pizza. And a lot of these things we discuss can be related to a pizza. So when we talk about area, the area A of a circle is equal to pi times the square, not square root, but the square of the radius r. And let me get a better color there. So pi times r squared, or r times r. So if you look at these first couple of examples, these are just finding the area of the whole circle. So notice I don't have two formulas for this. I only have a formula with radius. So I need to make sure that I have the radius. So in problem 1, my r is 5. So I would have area equals pi times 5 squared. And again, I'm going to go open up my Desmos calculator. Close out my other tabs. And I'm going to do pi times 5, and I'm going to click the squared button, and I'll get 78.5. Now, because we squared something, let me write this down real quick. The units are in inches squared, and that's because we squared the radius, so we have to square the units at the end. Now, number 2 is a little bit more complicated because this is your diameter. Notice that it goes all the way across the circle. So you have to be able to take that diameter and cut it in half to get the radius. You have to say 20 is all the way across. So 10 is halfway across because that's 20 cut into 2 pieces. So our area would be pi times 10 squared. So again, going back over to the Desmos, I'm just going to change this 5 to a 10. All of a sudden, I get a very big number, and really that's because I'm multiplying by 100. 10 times 10 is 100. So that's 314.2. And that's in meters squared. And it is squared because we squared the radius. Over here in question 3, we'll have area equals pi. Now this 9.5 is our radius. We can still square a decimal. We just got to let the calculator do it. It's a little easier if we let the calculator do it. I get 283.5. Now that's going to be, again, my decimal didn't come out so good, inches squared. So that's how we find area. But that's assuming we're talking about the whole circle or the whole pizza, depending on how you feel about that. When we talk about the area of a sector, it's kind of similar to arc length because we're talking about a portion of the entire area of the circle. And arc length was a portion of the entire circumference of the circle. So notice that this A, this whole red area, is shaded in. That's because that is the piece of the area that we're interested in knowing. Now, to me, that just looks like a piece of pizza. That's a pizza slice right there. So I like to think of this as the pizza slice, And I like to think of the arc length as the pizza crust. But, you can think of it however you like to do it. So we want to find the area that is equal to that same fraction that we used before. But because it's area, we need to use the area formula, pi r squared. And that x is just going to be the measure of that central angle or that arc, whichever one you have, because if it's a central angle, it's going to be the same as the arc. We learned about that way back earlier in circles. So let's turn to page 37 and let's work one together in the video. Let's take a look at this problem at the top, number 13. Number 13 says that angle, I'm not sure if you guys can see that little angle. It says it's got a little arrow there. That's 60. So that's how big that angle is. And they want to know this whole pizza slice in here. I'm not going to cover up everything because I need that number. But remember, area equals x over 360 times pi r squared. So our x is going to be the 60. We've got 60 degrees out of the total 360. And do we have our radius? Yes, that 10 is a radius. So remember, we just did pi times 10 squared a couple of minutes ago. And it was 314. But that's for the whole circle. We don't really want the whole circle. We want 60 divided by 360. We want that piece of it. So if I go over here to Desmos, I should get something less than that 314. So I'm going to type in the division key so I can get a fraction bar. You can put the multiplication sign in. It's up to you. We talked about that in the last video. Pi times 10 squared. And notice we are not getting anything close to 314. And that's because the 60, think about what size this is. It's only about 16% of the circle. So it's a very small piece of the circle. That's why it's only 52.4. So that pizza slice, the area of that pizza slice is 52.4. We have inches. Because we squared the radius, it's inches squared. All right, so when we come back together, we're still going to be on this page. This page is 37. We're going to work some easy ones and we're going to work some a little bit more challenging ones. And I'll show you what some of them look like in some word problems. Like over here on page 38, we have a really nice little word problem one that I found. So sometimes they like to hide these in word problems. So I'll just give you a little feel for what those look like. All right, thank you for watching.